called to help as a precursor to Earth. I remember the sky being green with purple-like clouds and 3 moons. I worked with a team to help the beings who lived there, who were not fully 3D physical, but only partially. We wanted them to remember and co-create the universe. There was not so much diversity, so it was actually pretty easy. We just gave everyone on the planet the same dream, and the next day, they all realized that they all had the same dream. They all came together in total realization, and their world shifted right then and there. Their quarantine was lifted. The beings here were also trained for the work that would be done on Earth. God is like a set of parents whose greatest wish is that their kids will surpass them and accomplish their dreams. But if wealthy parents have everything bring up a kid and it is all given to them, then how does one appreciate it or understand and respect creation? Yes, it is all given to us and can go back this way, like some have chosen to be and live a life fully knowing, but not totally. For example, Anastasia. She knows a lot about everything, and she has some things she's still learning about, like being in a loving relationship with a man who is not so awake, but doing his best for a quick study. He's doing his best for a quick study. Does that make sense? He said he's actually learning quickly. We can have this and we will, but there will always be growth. It seems that many of the souls choose to not have a memory and start from the very beginning at the bottom of the barrel. Though his father is president at a company, though the father is the president of the company, the kid could easily take a high-level job like that, but instead the father says, no, you will start at the bottom to learn the basics and remove politics, so that you know what it's like to have everyone's job and where they are coming from. And then, when you get to the top, you will be very good, fair, and just boss. You will be humble even though you have so much. You will not need others to sing your praises or worship you. This is an ego thing. You will only want the best for your employees and your own children. So when they inherit their father's empire, they will also be able to create their own co-creation with God, their father, and nurture their mother. It actually is the essence of nurture is a mother. Because a lot of people are like, God the Father, well, who's the mother? It's nurture. There is a creator and the nurturer fused inside us. There is the creator and nurturer is fused inside us that make life and maintain life. I know there are many people who do not like the idea of people claiming to be God, but they are fine with saying that we are God's children. But wait a second. When we take a king and queen and they get together and make whoopee and have a child, what does that make the child? A little prince or princess, which means they will one day become king or queen. So if we are God's children, then that makes us future gods, or creators in training. No, it is said, you say you're God, it's evil and of the devil. Come on, just think about it for a second. Everyone is a prince or princess, with amnesia about their divinity and destiny. I mean, everyone here on Earth, even the cleaning lady, as she scrubs the toilet and gets emotionally abused, she has no idea of how much she is loved and appreciated, how her family waits for her to be kissed by her awakening and claim her crown. When you see how this is so exciting for the watchers, how familiar these stories are, like Snow White, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, and Anastasia by 20th Century Fox. These classics have more divine relevance than the dark relevance we are sometimes aware of. But I will save this for another video. Perhaps you may now get an idea why you are all such a celebrity, admired and loved so much beyond fathoming. As I mentioned before, we are training, but in training for what? Chapter 8, My Own Personal Experiences. Let me backtrack here when I was younger, and these books started coming to me. I did not share which books they were in my Project Camelot interview because, again, I knew I did not have time to explain it all. I remember a time when I did not like the name Jessica. It was such a common name, and I wondered why I was not given a cool name like Forrest. So I decided to change my name to Zelia Lee. Dad said, "No, don't change your name. It's important that you keep your first name and your last name too." "I was told to give you that name," he said. I asked my dad what he meant about my name, and he said, "When you were in your mother's stomach, I was visited by Billy Meyer Sim Jessie, and she said it was extremely important that I name you after her." My dad had some serious abilities. My mom told me how he knew the sex of every child and their purpose to incarnating. My dad had no spiritual training and never attended anything like a mystery school. I know that by sharing this, people can say, Satan gives people abilities too. And yes, that is true. But the people who are gifted from that source are not happy people, and they seek to cause some serious pain and discord in their life and all who are near them. My dad never got angry. He was also the most honest man anyone had ever met. He also helped people for free and shared everything with others about his life. Who's that like? After my Project Camelot interview, I had people claim that I was an Illuminati drone because I shared that my dad had contact with star beings and was given a chip. And not all chips are bad. The ones that are bad are the ones that cause pain and confusion. I have worked with people who have had good chips and bad chips, and I can tell the difference. It is wise to not make judgments and allegations unless you really know your stuff. I will share more on this topic in another video where I will help people find out if they have been used as an Illuminati drone or not, and what they can do about it if they are, to break the programming. My father desired to uplift and inspire others, and he sure did. He was a fantastic husband and a really good father, despite him not being present in mine with us as often as I would have liked. He was very creative and resourceful, always inventing things and finding solutions. Mom said that he would go to sleep with a problem and wake up with a solution. He told me his higher self's name was a rule, and I don't know what that name means yet. He even knew my mother's higher self name. His intent was always pure. I do not recall much of an ego from him, just the strong knowing, and he was always right somehow. I asked my dad if he could speak with this Sim Jessie. It was said that no one could speak to her but Billy Meyer, unless a person could travel to her world. This makes me think that my dad could travel to the doll universe. He said to me, "Every message I have for you is from her." It was said that no one could speak to her about Billy, it was said that no one could speak to her but Billy, unless a person could travel to her world. My father had shared with me, and so did my mother, that he could travel to the doll universe. He said to me, "Every message I have for you is from her. She talks to me about you all the time." My dad was not a typical channel like the ones we are so familiar with, the ones who have to meditate first, leave their body, and then have this being come through them where their voice changes. It really can seem freaky. My dad did not do any of this. It was like he had this psychic phone where he could just repeat what came to him, and it would come lightning fast as if it were being downloaded to him. Our whole family is known to talk fast, as if there is so much coming at us to us at once. I have also been able to have downloaded information to me, but I do not think I am as good as my dad with this. I also have information being able to download that gets downloaded to me, but I'm not nearly as good as my father is. Okay, now I started to make sense why books that were handed to me out of nowhere were Palladium books, and the name Sim Jessie came to me more than once. Who was she, and what did she want with me? Who are the Palladians, and what do they want with me? Are you sure they did not make a mistake? I asked Dad. I asked Dad to ask her how she knew me. My dad just gave this knowing smile and said, "She says we are something like family." As I got older, I got that guides were our future selves. Was she me in the future? I wondered. I looked up